Have you ever noticed how the most effective people you know seem almost obsessed with the very first few minutes of their day? It is easy to assume they just have more energy than the rest of us. But the reality is, taking control of the start of your morning actually shifts the momentum for the next 15 hours, entirely independent of your natural energy levels. To understand how to reliably build this kind of momentum, we can look at 4 key mechanics: the predictability of your environment, the use of existing anchors, the math behind starting small, and the ripple effect that follows. Think about how a typical afternoon actually unfolds. By 2 o'clock, a meeting runs late, an urgent email arrives, or your focus naturally dips. The environment dictates your actions. When those afternoon schedules collapse, other plans tend to go down with them. You arrive home exhausted, so the intention to cook a healthy meal is replaced by takeout, and the evening workout gets pushed to tomorrow. Contrast that chaos with the early morning. Before the phone starts ringing and the emails pile up, you have a quiet window. It is highly insulated from outside interruptions. Because no one is demanding your attention at 6 a.m., those early minutes offer the highest level of control you will have all day over your own actions. You might think you don't have a morning routine, but you do. Without even thinking about it, you wake up, put your feet on the floor, walk to the bathroom, or start boiling water for coffee. Instead of trying to force a brand new routine out of thin air using sheer willpower, behavioral science points to a technique called anchoring. This means taking an existing automatic habit and using it as the immediate trigger for a new behavior. For example, the act of turning on your coffee maker can become the physical trigger to do a 2-minute stretching routine while you wait for the water to heat up. You don't have to remember to stretch, you just have to want coffee. Because your existing morning actions happen so reliably, they act as the perfect launchpad for anything new you want to introduce into your life. The trap most of us fall into is planning an incredibly ambitious morning, like a 5-mile run or an hour of reading, when we feel highly motivated the night before. But when the alarm goes off the next morning, that motivation is gone, and the task suddenly feels too difficult. The goal is to exercise. The action isn't running 3 miles, it's just putting on your walking shoes. Or, as researcher B.J. Fogg suggests, simply saying the phrase, "It's going to be a great day," the exact moment your feet hit the floor. By shrinking the initial step down to a few seconds, the requirement for motivation drops to 0. The action becomes virtually impossible to skip. You are probably wondering how simply putting on a pair of shoes or saying one sentence actually helps you get through a demanding workday. Every time you complete a task you set out to do, your brain releases a hit of dopamine. That chemical reward creates a physical sensation of success, regardless of how tiny the actual achievement was. That initial spark triggers an upward spiral. Because you feel successful in minute 1, you are slightly more likely to make the bed in minute 5. That leads to choosing a healthier lunch and staying more focused during that difficult 2 o'clock meeting. A tiny, completed action in the morning acts as a protective shield, building up the psychological resilience you need to handle the unpredictable challenges of the afternoon. So, by taking advantage of your protected morning hours, anchoring a new behavior to an existing habit, keeping the effort incredibly low, and letting the feeling of success compound, you create the simplest tool available to predictably guide your own behavior. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.